Hi, I am Dr. Manjunatha, epidemiologist and a faculty in community medicine at Mysore from India. At the outset, I would like to thank CRAM Speaker Series for giving me this opportunity. I have titled my presentation as COVID-19 in India, Epidemiological Perspectives. I would be talking to you on these lines, presenting an India's overview of current COVID-19 status and India's response to COVID-19. I'll be sharing some of the highlights of my experience as an expert in mitigating the pandemic at the district level. I will be posing the burning questions for discussion as a follow-up of my presentation. As on 21st May, we had a total of close to 109,000 total cases, out of which 63,624 are active and 45,299 are cured, almost 42% are cured. And we have witnessed around 3,435 deaths due to the pandemic so far. This is the epidemic curve, which shows that the first case was reported in India on 30th of Jan, and for 2 months the virus was quiescent. The cases started increasing from the first week of April, and the real acceleration happened in the month of May so far. And now we are at this point, and we are not sure whether the worst is over or not, whether we are going to experience more cases in the near future is the $1,000,000 question, and we need to be prepared for that. The key metrics of the pandemic are listed here. We are doing tests at a rate of 1,823 per 1 million population, and the conversion rates has been a little less than 6%, which means if we test 100 symptomatic cases, around 6 people are being tested positive, and so we have around 78 patients per 1 million population and 2 deaths per million population. Uh, Importantly, the case doubling time in India in the past 1 month is averaging at around 11 days. And unfortunately, we do not have much data on the critical cases who are being treated in the intensive care units. The case fatality rate is again consistently around 3.1 since past 1.5 months. And the R0, or the basic reproductive number, is deduced to be in the range of 0.3 to 3.7 according to various mathematical modeling. As we know, depends upon the assumptions and the input parameters that we make use of in the modeling process. India's strategy has been mainly the lockdown to break the transmission chain. Uh, we have started lockdown very early in the March itself. On 24th of March, it started as a Janata curfew, and it is still in force now, though it is relaxed since past few days to allow economic activities. And we have a unique cluster containment plan in place, and which also includes robust contact tracing and surveillance activities. We have designated COVID hospitals for isolation and treatment of cases, and the guidelines are evolving every day based on the inputs from WHO and the evidence collected locally. We have facility quarantine for migrant workers, and some states have experimented with active surveillance. Uh, since it is a resource intensive procedure, it is not possible for uh, widespread usage of active surveillance at this point of time. We have also done vulnerability assessment of people, uh, which include the children, the pregnant women, and elderly population. And we have also have started vaccine initiative here. The big question is, have we flattened the curve? Has the lockdown helped the cause? The answer is no. We have not flattened the curve, as the curve is still growing upward. Should we continue lockdown is the big debate which is going on, and we need to get the answer yet. Should we escalate the testing? The answer is perhaps yes. Are we in the tipping point? Is again, the mathematical models are predicting that if the lockdown is relaxed, there is a possibility of huge number of cases being reported in the near future. If we compare the present Indian scenario with the predictions before by prestigious institution like Johns Hopkins University, we can find some solace because we are doing reasonably well. This prediction shows that even the best scenario is reflected by this yellow graph, shows that we should be having more than 100 million cases by this time, and it is not the case as all of us know. And even if you look at this hospitalized cases prediction, we should be having more than 10 lakh people in hospitals by now. And even that is not the scenario now. So we should find comfort in this, that we have done something reasonably well. We can summarize the impact of all these measures like this. We have succeeded to prevent the deep community transmission of the virus. The virus has not diffused deeply into the rural population. The case fatality rate is a modest 3.1 consistently. We have received accolades and appreciation from various quarters. WHO has openly appreciated India's efforts in mitigating the epidemic. All eyes were on India as it defied the expectations and did well in mitigating the pandemic. Experts all over have appreciated our performance so far. WHO, in its situation report on May 11th, has classified India under cluster transmission and no community transmission. I was made a member of expert committee at the district level to mitigate the epidemic. We had a real big hotspot in one of the taluks called Nanjangud, where a lot of people working in a factory were tested positive. We developed a temporal and spatial model for the hotspot and mapped the cases with linkages. We calculated the serial interval, which was found to be 5.4 days. Serial interval means the time gap between the appearance of secondary cases and the primary cases. And reproductive number for our district was 1.7 in the second week of April, and now it is hovering around 0.9. We implemented the cluster containment plan with intense educational campaign in the taluk, which was the hotspot, and there was good community participation. We were happy that the hotspot is now free from active cases, and the case fatality rate in our district is 0 so far. All the 90 cases have recovered. We also thought of random zero surveillance to assess the hidden part of the disease burden in our district. The quintessence of our learning is we don't have answers to any questions as of now, and all our knowledge is ephemeral and needs validation. The ongoing pandemic is a great teacher, giving new tests every day. I personally feel that we are waging our second freedom struggle, and in our first freedom struggle against the British Raj, which was led by the great Mahatma Gandhi, we followed the principle of non-cooperation and civil disobedience. But now we need cooperation and civil obedience as far as the guidelines from the government are concerned, and community participation and engagement is the key. We have some concerns. Some of them are listed here. Is the cure more painful than the disease is the major concern? And what if there is fatigue phenomenon among the healthcare workers and even among the general population? And we are also worried about the infodemic and its role in controlling this pandemic, because we have seen how the social media has played its role so far, and overwhelming of the healthcare system has not happened so far. Hopefully it will not happen in the future also. Now the questions for us to discuss from now onwards as a sequel of this presentation are listed here. Will the lockdown result in knockdown of the virus? Will the holy grail or the vaccine help in this pandemic? is the only way out is through it. That is the role of herd immunity. Lives versus livelihood debate, and reasons for India's good performance. Key references that I looked into. I would like to conclude by saying there is no other way forward but together. Please take care and thank you very much for your attention.